So Oda just dropped a nuclear bomb right on the One Piece community with this, and then the reveal that One Piece has outsold Superman in its entirety, and then also the ending of One Piece being revealed as well. More into that one in a moment, but I want to talk about this first, because this is such a nuclear level bombshell. I was blown away when I first saw this, and there's a lot to really unpackage from everything that was revealed last night, but this one in particular, it finally settled the matter. It settled the toxic discussion around Yamato. For those that are not terminally online, let me give some clarification. This character is Yamato, and this artwork is depicting a good ending and a bad ending. The 40 represents the age that Yamato would be, how she would look at age 40 in the bad ending, and age 60 in the bad ending, age 60 in the good ending. And what this represents is a big thing that has been a heavy discussion in the One Piece community for a long time. One thing in particular is Yamato's gender. Go figure. Basically, Yamato was hard LARPing and role-playing as Odin, this character within her same arc that was a very powerful character within the story. And basically, Yamato wanted to become exactly like him because she looked up to him. She wanted to be him, so to speak. And more or less, eventually, you can see that Yamato grew out of that, and she wanted to be her own person, be free from the shackles of being someone else, and actually be her own person. But obviously, there's more to it than just that. There was a lot of pressure where people were saying that Yamato was identifying as a guy or a dude, stuff like that, and eventually Oda just straight up said, no, Yamato is a woman. But obviously, those fans could not accept that, and they basically said it was the death of the author, that it doesn't matter what the author says, they know more than what the author has to say about their story. You gotta get the point. So basically, they never accepted that Yamato was actually a woman, despite the author being the actual creator of the work saying Yamato was a woman. So, we fast forward to this morning. This comes out, and this more or less absolutely crushes that entire conversation, pretty much saying that if Yamato continues to LARP as a guy, LARP as Odin, she will end up dead, like Odin. And if she doesn't LARP as him and tries to be her own self as Yamato, she will live. I'm not gonna lie. It's taken me everything I have to not laugh, because it's... But it's funny. Just what a bombshell. What a bombshell from Oda. I love this, man. But obviously, there is a lot more than just this. So first off, we have this. This one is very simple. I could get through it very quickly. But basically, every so often, Oda does a Q&A. He answers readers' comments. And that's what this more or less is right here. And he answers a comment of a reader saying, I want to be Gunko's slave. And Oda literally just responds with, go right ahead. It's... That's it. There needs to be no more explanation. Understandable. Have a nice day. Then we get into this other SBS, which is causing a lot of controversy, which now let's get into some more of the sad and bad news of, in terms of the video, and then get back into the good news. But we need to discuss this because what's going on right now, what I've been seeing for the last 24 hours has been fucking unhinged, and I feel like it just straight up needs to be called out. Reader. Hello, Oda-sensei. For people in One Piece who dress like this, referring to the high-cut outfits in the image, one image is Nami's Elbaf skirt outfit, and one image is the Kuja skirt outfit. Are they not wearing any underwear, pantsuit? Oda responds with, of course they aren't. I mean, how would they even wear anything under that? Can you please stop ruining our dreams? Now, this seems like very funny little tidbit lore behind the scenes. Basically, Oda's saying that Nami's character design, she's going full-blown commando. That's what Oda pretty much reveals. And does this add anything to the story necessarily? No. But it is funny little tidbit behind the scenes of when Oda is drawing this character or writing this character, that is what he potentially envisions in his mind. It gives a little bit more insight into his psyche as an author and as a creator as well, and how he also views Nami or his other characters within the story, not just female characters, but male characters as well. Because in fact, this isn't the first time that Oda has actually done this. He's done this in the past to a male character. He's done this right here, which Nakim actually showcases with an SBS, a very similar thing where he was answering, questions, and this is what it says. Question. So what's underneath that leaf skirt of Wiper? Does he go commando? And then Oda responds with, oh, definitely commando. Good one. I'm positive it must be pretty tough having it swinging around during battle. Yeah, that'll be tough. Maybe he wears some sort of loincloth thing. Well, I don't know. Hey, so Oda, as always, answered these type of gooner questions, and you could say maybe it's his humor, maybe you could say he's serious, you don't really know. But he's done this not just with the female cast, but even the male cast when something like this is asked. So this isn't something relatively groundbreaking that's brand new just with this question alone. However, this question has led to a lot of people more or less being absolute psychopaths about Oda's SBS, or this question that he answered. For one, you have a post here with 30,000 likes, literally saying, Oda, the millisecond One Piece ends, and I'll zoom it into the finale. Basically, the man's like, oh, well, time to go. Obviously, you could try to say this is a joke, but 30,000 people, I mean, you see a lot of people. People are, definitely, I think, trying to be serious, and there's probably at least a few psychopaths in these likes that probably are serious about it and think that Oda needs to potentially die. It's pretty concerning, especially over something as harmless as this of him answering a question, and answering a question he's done already many times in the past with other different characters. But it doesn't just stop there. You have, you know, comments like this on the tweet here, or people are doing like this. You have stuff like this, like One Piece author Eiichiro Oda found dead minutes after the final chapter releases. He finished after he posted that final chapter. You have the most unfunny individuals posting these type of Eiichiro speed gifs and stuff like that. It's the typical type of tourist and COVID anime fans riddled all in this comment section wishing for the death of Oda. It's completely unhinged. It's just like, I don't know how anyone could be this upset about this type of question with over 1,100 chapters deep into the manga. And here's the reason why. One Piece has a shit ton of fan service. It does. Like, not even just the anime. Like, the manga has fan service. Like, in Egghead, Oda literally went on record to say that he drew a lot of butt shots and dedicated a lot of manga panels to refine and get better at drawing butts. He literally admitted that. There is a lot of discussion around that. And it's like he's always been someone that just, he draws fan service for male and female characters. And the fact that you're 1,100 chapters deep, and we have people crashing out to this extent, you have almost 5 million views on this post alone, is fucking insane. It's so insane just how unhinged people actually are. This is what I really hate about these new generation of anime fans, or in this case, tourist and COVID fans, because they don't really care for anime. They're, honestly, I'm just gonna use the word. They're only watching One Piece because it's popular, because it's the main talking point in communities, and they're only pretending or watching it because it's cool to watch now. If it eventually fell out of favor and majority turned against, you know, Oda, then you would see all these people say they never liked One Piece to begin with. It is just absolutely insane how these people are, and how you can just tell in general that they don't actually care about One Piece, manga, and anime. They're only into it because it's popular at the time, and they're bandwagoning and joining in on the community because they have this herd mentality. It's just so freaking insane to me. But getting off this news, let's get into some better news. So first off, we have this one, which is One Piece has now sold over 600 million copies worldwide, selling more than all of Superman's 18,000 plus issues combined, making it the undisputed best-selling comic of all time and a contention for the best-selling fiction series of all time. This is fucking huge, okay? Like, say whatever you want about One Piece. Hate it, dislike it, whatever. Like, you don't like the story. You cannot deny the absolute legendary status of the series to be able to surpass such an icon like Superman. Everybody knows who Superman is. You do. Everybody recognizes Superman. He has a recognizable symbol on his chest. Everybody knows who Superman is. He is a cultural phenomenon. He is someone that is referenced in media, literature, so many things around the internet. He is someone super freaking iconic. Everybody recognizes Superman. And so the fact that One Piece outsold Superman is a big deal. It means that One Piece is now reaching into that realm of no longer just being, let's say, a manga, but being really used as a cultural phenomenon. It always has been, a cultural phenomenon, but it really has went above and beyond anything that we have seen thus far. The fact that it's reaching the status of surpassing Superman. That's insane. Happy for One Piece. happy for Oda. Just insane to finally see something like this after all these years. It's just incredible to see. I cannot feel... I feel so much happiness for Oda. I really do. Now, for the last bit I want to talk about, it is this one. Eiichiro Oda has written the secret behind the One Piece treasure on a piece of paper sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Once the series ends, the truth will be revealed. So, this is Oda writing on a piece of paper the actual One Piece, what the One Piece actually is. And upon him writing whatever it is, the secrets of everything, you see this man rip it up, put it in a box, he locks it, and then if you zoom past, you can see they dump it into the bottom of the ocean. And it's at the bottom of the ocean. We don't know exactly where it's at, but somewhere in the world right now, the ending of One Piece is in that box, sitting on the bottom of the ocean floor. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that is absolutely a magical thing to see. It's honestly shocking something like this actually hasn't happened already, but now that it's happened, it really just cements the power of the series itself, because it's like, imagine the person that, if it is found, let's say like it's found years from now or whatever after One Piece ends, someone pulls it up, and then they look at it like, holy crap, this is the actual ending of One Piece. Imagine how insane that would be. Like, that, fine, it's actually legitimately a treasure hunt. And I wonder if the intention here as well is to actually spark that as well, because, like, obviously, with how popular One Piece is, and I mean, especially since it's surpassed, like, Superman, as you can see here, it would not shock me if there's going to be dedicated people now for years to come to scan the bottom of the ocean floor just to find out what the One Piece actually is, or what it is, what the ending of the series actually is. I would not be shocked at all if someone dedicates majority of their time and even makes an entire YouTube channel dedicated trying to find this. And I'm gonna be honest, with how dedicated the internet can be to finding something, I would not put it past them to find this potentially within the next year. Maybe a few weeks, months, who knows. I would not even be shocked about it. But that's the big question. Let's say if it does get found in the upcoming weeks, months, or even a year from now, how much is really on that parchment, and is it really the full ending? And would Oda be fine with the ending being revealed like that? That is the question I have to wonder, and that brings me back to what happened earlier on in this little clip. He rips it. He rips a piece of it up, and what I think what this means is that maybe there's a part of it that is not fully clarified, and you only get half of the true ending of One Piece, or what the One Piece actually is, and then the other half will give you some details that will actually reveal what the ending is. That's my educated guess. Maybe I'm looking too deep into that, but it's still pretty freaking cool. I'm not gonna lie, this is honestly one of the coolest things I've seen in a while, and to just see One Piece, like, or Oda go this far to kind of hint at the ending is just awesome. So I'll leave it at that, though. I wanted to talk about all this. There was a lot of One Piece news. I know there was a lot I needed to cover, but it's insane. Like, you have the toxicity of the fan base, to the funny SBSs and stuff like that, to the new heights and records and record-breaking stuff that Oda's been doing. It's honestly a crazy time to be a One Piece fan. But I'll leave it at that. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, leave a like down below, or comment down below, leave a like, please. It helps out a lot. And be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.